All right, ready? Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having an amazing and wonderful day. Welcome and thank you for watching the third episode of my podcast, FYI Talks or FYI Talks. I'm your host, Frankie, and today we have, for the first time ever, 4 guests with only 4 mics, so 5 people. So we're going to see how this works. Right here we have Matt Ko.
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
And then over there we have Alyson Wong from last time.
Hello.
And then we have our boy Jason Kwon in the middle.
Hello.
And then we have, again, Hoyoung Kim on the other side as well.
Hi.
All right. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am to talk and have some fun. We're just going to start with introductions and how everyone met each other. I guess us 3 don't really have to do it because we did it last time. But just for these 2, how they met other people.
You start.
I thought I wasn't doing anything.
You can introduce yourself again and just how you met Matt and how you met Jason.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Alyson, and if you didn't watch last podcast, I'm a nursing student here at UT, and I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I met Matt playing I think I met all of y'all playing basketball. Okay. Met Matt playing basketball freshman year, and then met Jason through Frank, because they're lifelong besties.
All right. And then we can go to Matt next.
What's up, y'all? I'm Matt. I'm from Dallas, Texas. What's up? I'm from Dallas, Texas. Went to UT, still sticking around Austin. I honestly know everyone through Alyson, but I'm a hooper, so.
Sweet. All right, Jason?
Hello, I'm Jason. I'm from Houston. I met Hoy sophomore year of college. I just came to visit, Frank and Alyson a lot, so that's how I met Hoy. And then Alyson, I met through Frank at Greg Gym. First time I saw her, she was crazy at hooping, so that was my first impression of her. I was like, oh shoot, she might be him. And then Frank, I knew Frank since we were kids,
I think
childhood friends.
Honestly, we met when we were 8, but we've been friends since we were 11 or something.
Yeah, so known Frank my whole life.
That was through church.
And he's
that was through church. And then and I met Matt through Alyson. Matt is an amazing guy. He's super fun, super nice to be with. So
Back at you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. Hoy, you want to just introduce yourself real quick?
Hey guys, I just graduated from UT, and Jason, I think, explained all of us interactions. And then Matt, I just met him basically today or a couple weeks ago, briefly. Yeah.
Good to meet you, my man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. All right, sweet. And then I'm Frank, your host. If you don't know, I'm 5th year grad school at UT, first and last year of doing grad school, and then I'll finish out this year. Awesome. So we can just get right into the questions. Do you guys have any tattoos, and what are they? What do they mean? And then do you guys have any tattoo ideas for those who don't have tattoos if you're thinking about getting one? We can start with Hoy over there, actually. Hoy does not have any tattoos, I don't think.
Yeah, and I prefer not to get any tattoos.
And why's that?
I just don't know. I think it looks better.
It looks better without tattoos?
My opinion.
Okay.
My parents think so too.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think all of our parents can agree. Jason, what tattoos? Jason has the most tattoos, and he has many.
I think winter strip. Jason.
As he goes through them, we'll show each one of them,
Yeah,
even the ones
all
in
right.
private places.
My parents don't like tattoos. My dad was pretty against it, but my mom was super lenient. She was okay with it, as long as if it had a meaning to it. I have a lot, but I guess I'll explain the ones that are most meaningful.
Yep.
So I have one on my chest. It's in Roman numerals. It says 07/27/2019, and that's when my dad had surgery during that time, and it was kind of rough because I thought he was gonna pass, but thankfully he's alive and with me today. So it kind of signifies the day that he had his surgery, but it also signifies that I kind of took family for granted a lot growing up. So I think being put in this situation allowed me to realize oh, you shouldn't take family for granted because anything can happen in life. So it's a constant reminder to like stay true to your family, no matter what. So that's that.
Would you like to show it?
I don't know if I can like really. I can. It's like that.
I don't know if I can really.
Got it straight in the live.
Yeah, that's one of my tattoos. I'll do one more. I have one on my thigh, like this.
That's
this
not one.
drawing right here. So the reason why I got this drawing, a lot of people ask me like, "What is that? Like a cartoon or like whatever?" So usually I'm like, "Sure, it's a cartoon," because I don't want to explain it in depth. But basically, this tattoo, every year for my birthday, my dad draws me like some random like drawings and paintings and stuff. Because growing up, he wanted to be an artist. He wanted to go to art school and everything, but he didn't have enough money growing up, so it's like kind of devastating. But every year he draws me like some weird stuff, and he like folds a piece of paper, and then on the front it's like a weird drawing. If you open it, it's like blank. It's just a drawing. So basically, during that time actually, when my dad had surgery, it was close to my birthday, like July 16, and I actually like framed that picture, like in a little frame, like in my room, just because I thought it was very memorable. And then like a month later, I got a tattoo of it, and then my dad saw it when we were eating. He like looked down my leg. He was like, "Didn't I draw that for you?" I was like, "Yeah, you did." But he didn't really say anything. I was pretty shocked. I thought he was gonna get mad at me, but he didn't. So.
Did he like it?
Yeah, I don't know. His reaction was like, oh. Yeah. Ever since then, he just, I don't know. I guess he was okay with it. So.
Yep. So as you can see, Jason really loves his dad. Lots of tattoos about him. He hates his mom.
I've actually never even heard of you having a mom.
I love my mom very much.
I'm just kidding. I think Jason loves his mom more than his dad, actually.
That
Oh
is equally.
Yeah.
Wait a damn minute.
Yeah, I'm a mama's boy. What can I do?
Instantly. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
bad, bro.
All right, Alyson.
I only have one tattoo, and it's behind my ear. And I don't think there's any point showing it because you probably can't see it. But it is my grandpa's nickname that he gave for me in my grandma's handwriting. And I had to figure out how to get like my grandma to draw it without being sus. But it works out because she doesn't speak English and she doesn't question anything I do. So I just kept having her like write the nickname, which means like little rascal, but in Chinese. And yeah. And my mom, actually, the day that I got the tattoo, I had just taken the bandage off because I had gotten the tattoo. I knew I couldn't go home immediately because there was like tape all over it. I went to my friend's house, let it sit for a little bit, and then took off the tape and went home. And immediately she came behind me and started playing with my hair. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is it. She's going to find out. But she actually didn't see it at all. And it wasn't until it was like a year later, we were in Chicago. And I was brushing my hair, and she was like, what is that behind your ear? And I was like, aw, nuts. But it's a tattoo for her parents, so she ended up really liking it. And that's all I have.
What about you, Matt?
I actually don't have any tattoos, man. It's something I've been looking into for a long, long time, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the first things that I ask when I see someone with a tattoo, I'm pretty sure I did it to you, is like, where'd you get that tattoo? Like, how'd you come up with the inspiration? Like, can you put me on some artists? Because it's been something that I've been trying to take pretty seriously this last couple of years. But I just haven't hit that inspiration yet. And I'm not sure I'm ready to make that like permanent jump into putting something on my body if I don't know what it is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
once you do it, it gets addicting. You're like, I want to do the rest of it. I want to do everything I can.
The rest of my
Yeah.
body.
It's actually
Exactly.
crazy. Someone told me like, dude, once you get one, like game over. I was like, shut up, no way.
And then look at you now.
I got like
9.
10.
Yeah.
It's right there, bro. I'm saying.
I've
Dude.
also heard like you should sit on an idea for at least 3 months.
See if you really like it. Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely a good idea, bro.
Do you have anything particular in mind that you wanted to do for your first?
So like primarily, I've been thinking about the aesthetic and the placement, because I haven't yet found something that really resonates with me for inspiration. But I'm looking at a sleeve or like an upper arm kind of deal.
Big bold.
Yeah.
I'm saying-
off the rip.
Hoyoung's like, that's so ugly.
But it's just like it's one of those things where like the sleeve is the big commitment. Like you jump on that, like there's not much you can do with it once it's there. You know what I mean? So I'm waiting to find the right one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, sounds good. For me, I have one tattoo right now. It's on my bicep. It says Ephesians 4:32.
Damn.
It's just one of my favorite memory
Flex it.
verses.
Flex it out, man.
Let's go.
Ugh.
No, nice.
Gunshot,
Hey,
baby.
my bad.
Gunshot.
My bad.
Bang, bang.
Relax. It's a really long story, but it basically has like three. Like I live by like these really four big morals in my life, and that I've learned throughout the years. I didn't like start with them. It kept adding on and adding on, but ever since like high school, I think it's been the same four, and it just has like three of them inside the verse, and so I really like it. I can explain it to anyone who asks if you like ask me in person or something like that. But
Hey,
yeah.
Frank, what does it mean?
Now shut up.
see?
All right. So, but for a tattoo idea, I do have one more. I drew on my phone, and I
Yeah.
want to get it as soon as
On
possible.
Snapchat?
No.
Like,
Wait.
you can draw stuff on Snapchat.
Oh, you want me to do it on Snapchat to see?
Is
it
that what
look
you
like?
did?
No. I just did it in like a memo,
Mm.
and I like drew it a few times, and then
With
I
a
found
stylus?
the one. Yeah, I
Oh.
found the one that I really liked, and it has also religious significance for me. And yeah, since I haven't done it yet, I don't want to reveal it, but hopefully I'll get that done soon. But
That's nice.
whenever I got this tattoo and my mom finally found out, she found out about a year and a half after I got it. And I told her I just got it a few months earlier, and she got really mad. As we all said, our parents don't really approve of it.
Shit, bro.
My mom, she like pinched me and she like on the tattoo, and she was like, you know, this is not your skin. This is me, your dad, and God's skin. Like, you can't just put whatever you want on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay, get off of me. Stop pinching me.
She owns you, bro.
Yeah, and then she's like, you're going to get it laser removed. And I'm like, nah. And my dad was like, all right, it's okay as long as you promise to not get another one. And I was like,
Well, we're about to break that promise.
yeah. All right. I haven't yet, though. So we're
Sweet.
chilling.
What's the verse say?
It's be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other as in Christ God forgave you. So kindness, compassion, and forgiveness.
There
Through my
we go,
big four. Okay, so this is also a follow-up question. For people who don't have tattoos, what do you think about people with tattoos? And then for people without tattoos, what do you think about people without tattoos and with tattoos? Is there like a difference? Do you see a difference? Anyone want to start?
You would hit it with?
Sure. Like how I feel about people with tattoos?
Yeah, with tattoos, yeah.
I mean, I'm still friends with this guy, so I guess not.
But do you like look at them differently or like think differently of them because they have tattoos?
No, I really don't. Like, I really don't care or mind. It's just my preference of like
For yourself.
for myself.
yeah,
Yeah,
looks
for
good on
myself.
you.
I don't think I'll look good with tattoos, honestly. So,
I think you would,
but sometimes
that's
I'll get
besides the point.
But sometimes I'll get a random mind like, oh, should I get like a leg sleeve like that? Kind of crazy.
Some crazy stuff.
But yeah.
Nah, it makes sense. I think for me, bro, like, I love tattoos, man. Like, if I see someone with a tattoo, I'm like, all right, like, I see you, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
But I feel like, I don't want to be a hater, but, like, there's some tattoos you look at it, you're like, man, what were you thinking? You know what I mean?
That
And
is
it's like,
true too.
yeah, so it's like, that's what I'm afraid of ending up like. So it's like, yeah. But I'm saying, like, if you have something that's that meaningful to you, that you're willing to, like, put it on your body permanently, I respect that, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Jason? People with or without tattoos, do you see any difference?
I feel like when I first didn't have tattoos, I was like, oh, I don't really like the style of it. But ever since, like, people started giving me the idea of tattoos, I was like,
I'll put you on.
yeah.
You gotta admit, I'll
wait a
put you
minute.
on.
So I tried it out and it was nice. But I don't really mind people with tattoos. I think it's just who they are. It signifies whatever they put on their body. Like, it's just, yeah.
I like when people get a lot of tattoos because I think that means that they're really open to expressing themselves. Because, I mean, tattoos don't always have to have meaning. They can just, if you think it looks pretty, you know, you can put it on. Like, I've always wanted to put a smiley face on my thumb. I think that would be fun.
Damn. It's gotta hurt.
The elbow is, like, the worst spot I've heard.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you can tell if someone's hard. Like, if they have a full sleeve, but their elbow is, like,
I
blank.
actually do see that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like usually just your elbow that's missing.
But I've also seen, like, somebody do, like, full shade just right here.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jason did a ribcage one, and I remember him telling me about it. How he cried.
It was bad.
Can I see it?
He said that ASMR
Sorry.
style, bro. Like,
yeah.
No, but during that time, it was during COVID, so I had my mask on, but like I was actually crying like in some of it.
No, you were like,
Yeah, it was.
But
it
no
was
one could tell in the
painful,
mask.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think the answer is kind of different. The way I see it is like people without tattoos. I think I don't think anything different of people with or without tattoos, but I do when people say like come up and compliment a tattoo, whether it's like my friends or mine or whatever. I see it as two classes of people: people without tattoos who are complimenting, and people with tattoos who are complimenting.
Yeah.
So usually the people without tattoos who are complimenting are like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like, I wish I could get one, that kind of thing. Whereas people with tattoos, when they do it, it's like respect. Like, it's just like, hey, I got a bunch too. Like, I see yours. Like, I respect yours. And like, it's like a conversation. Like, you can talk about theirs too and like respect each other, you know? That's how I see it. But that could be completely wrong. But
Shit. As long as it's not a teardrop, bro.
yeah, that's
You know
true.
what
Just on the face.
I'm scared then.
How many
like-
people you kill? All right, next question. All right, so
Wow.
all right, so how do you feel about unfollowing exes on social media after a breakup? What do you guys think about that? Is it something that should be done? Doesn't matter? Like, what do y'all think? Let me start on this side, man.
Yeah, I think it depends on the breakup, bro. So it's like, I think there's two types of unfollow. There's the like, I don't want to ever talk to this person again. I don't want to have any connection with them. Like, this person is not a part of my life, right? And then there's the like, man, like, we still hurt. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I just don't want to see it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it in my face. Like, just keep it out of my view. Like, I still respect him, but it's just like, I can't handle that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think it's a necessity. I don't think it's one of those things where it's disrespectful to your next partner if you don't. I think it's a personal choice, and, you know, the motivation varies.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I agree. I think there's also a mute button, which is a little, it's like a soft unfollow, which,
You used it before, huh? That's how you know about it.
from experience, bro.
yeah.
I thought there was more to it.
That's it, bro.
But yeah, I agree with Matt though. I think like it's totally okay if you go through a breakup and then if you just don't want to see that person or have anything to do with her, like that's completely fine. Just like unfollow her on like social media. I don't think it's a bad idea. Some people do think it's like kind of petty to like kind of do that stuff. But I mean, I think it's totally fine though.
Yeah.
But I have a question in terms of like let's say you currently have a boyfriend or girlfriend, but then you saw your girlfriend or boyfriend still following like their exes. Would they feel anything about that?
That was actually one of my follow-up questions. That's a good question. So yeah, how do you guys feel about somebody who still follows their exes, maybe even all of their exes? Would you feel some type of way about it?
Someone else, as in like friends.
Like your significant other follows all their exes. Is that like a red flag, green flag, or does it just not really matter? You can start. What would you feel?
I'm kind of curious about that too, but I don't know. I think initially people will feel a little like I don't know how to explain, like
Sussed.
little sus, I guess, or yeah. And initially, I think that's like usually how it goes. I think, but then if you're a lot more open-minded, then you could be like ask like why you're following or whatever, or if you don't care. But
Personally?
personally,
Put
Personally,
yourself
I'll
in
ask
that
him.
shoe.
Personally, I'll ask
Okay.
him. Yeah, I'll ask him, and then it's like if it's whatever, then it's like okay, that's fine. I trust you.
Okay.
Yeah. I respect that, but I come from a place where it's like, I think your ex is a part of your history. I think it's part of what makes you a person. I think, like, when you enter into a relationship with someone, like, you accept them for who they are and everything that they've done up to that point. And I think, you know, like, as long as you trust them, as long as it's coming from a place of like, mutual respect, like, I don't think there's a problem with it. You know, like, if you DMing them every day, like,
Yeah.
if you sliding in on their, like, thirst traps, like, that's a
That's a
different
problem.
story. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's a big problem.
That's what I'm saying.
So what if they're friends with them?
I don't really have a problem with that, man. Like I think there's like, it depends on like the nature of the friendship, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah.
But like, if it's real friendship, you know what I mean? Like that's not something I'm trying to take away from it. You know what I mean? So
Sure. Any other thoughts?
I agree with Matt.
I agree. I think it really depends on your partner and your trust, not just trust, but how you like delete that.
She said delete that, bro. She said delete this whole pod, actually.
Yeah, for real.
Don't post it.
every time Alyson talks, delete that. Delete that.
Okay, let me start. Let me first think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question while she thinks?
Yes.
If your significant other wants you to like unfollow or block, like even though it's like, oh, I just don't want you to see, like even though you don't have any bad relationship with your ex, you just want to like close, then would you do that? Would you like?
I think I respect that, man. Like, I think that's like you're sitting with another's call. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think at the end of the day, like, making them feel comfortable is an important part of a relationship. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think it's something that needs to be discussed. I don't think you can just like lay down the law and just be like, hey, like unfollow them or I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's an area that like there needs to be communication around. You know what I mean? And I think you should be open to the idea of making that kind of compromise for your significant other.
Yeah, I think
Hyung.
I think it depends what the boundaries are, because a relationship is a lot about learning each other's boundaries and respecting each other's boundaries.
Yeah.
So like if it's something that she's just like, hey, can you unfollow them? And like she has like a reason for it, like, oh, like you're still talking to them, you're still close with them, and I feel a little uncomfortable about that, then it's like up to you. If you don't really care about it, then why would you not try to make her happy by just unfollowing? You know, it's just like, okay, yeah, I have a girlfriend now, so I have to respect her boundaries, and like she's gonna come in and respect mine and probably like meet me in the middle with some other things. So why can't I do this? That kind of thing. But if it's like something where she's just like, unfollow them even though you don't talk to them just because I don't want you to see them, then it can get kind of toxic. And it's like, that's when you guys communicate through it and be like, hey, I like assure you there's nothing going on. If you still want me to unfollow them, I can. Or like maybe you don't want to unfollow them, and that's fine too. But it's just about her respecting your boundary at that point, and you guys are just like creating a compromise, meeting in the middle kind of thing.
I didn't finish my thought. Next question.
Okay. Y'all good? Anything to add? No? Okay.
No, I'm chilling.
All right. Follow-up question with that. Should the boys or the girls be unfollowing your exes if you unfollow them?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a should or a need, but like my guy Jason over here is loyal. And I think I respect that a lot, but my best friends from home have like barely met some of the people I've talked to and still follow them, and that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as they're not sliding, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
It's whatever.
Yeah,
It's Instagram
that's,
or whatever. You know what I mean?
that's not something I'd ever think my girls would do. So that's not honestly, it never even crossed my mind. But
What if
that's a
they're
red flag.
What if they're talking to them like just as friends still? Is that cool?
yeah,
See,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
No, I saw you, bro.
I think there's like a certain boundary that you can put on it, but I guess like for an example, like I have a few friends in Houston, and I'm very close to this one guy and this one girl. I'm not gonna mention their names just because privacy reasons. But basically, like
HIPAA.
Just call him Frank, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's just say.
Why don't you just fucking say it to me? Huh?
No, it's not.
Just
It's
kidding,
okay. I feel like because they're dating and because I'm very close with both of them, and if they did happen to break up, I think for me, like I think it's okay to like still be friends with that girl, but not like obviously cross any boundaries. But it depends on like the guy. Like if he says like, oh, I don't want you to like see her or talk to her, then like that's my dog. So like I'm gonna respect that, and I'm just gonna like cut it off. That's personally for me.
I feel like guys usually don't say that, but it also affects them more than you think. Like they'll be like, hey, nah, you should still hang out with her, be friends with her.
Right.
But when they see you hanging out with her, they're like, damn, and they get sad, you know, that kind of thing. So the way I see it is like, if my guy friend is still hurting over her or feeling any type of way over her, then respectfully, I'm not going to talk to her at least. I maybe not unfollow her, but I think respectfully, I won't talk to her just so, because like I'm his boy first, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if he sees me around her or anything like that, sees me being friendly with her, then even if he says it doesn't affect him, like it could. And so I wouldn't want to like disrespect him by doing that or like make him feel any kind of way because I'm doing that. And so I think that's why I'm a little different from you, Jason, but I think after I think whenever he gets over it and whenever he's like maybe dating somebody else, or like whenever he's at a good point in his life where he's just like, yeah, I really don't mind, like maybe he even will hang out with her or something like that. I don't know. Just like whenever he gets past the breakup phase of the relationship, I think then it's okay because you were friends with her before. Like, you shouldn't go out of your way to be her friend, but like if you are gonna like hang out or something, then that's cool in like a group setting, whatever, because like that's how it was before.
Oh, you.
I feel like it also depends on the nature of the breakup.
Yeah.
Like if one of my friends got cheated on, I would not be speaking to their ex, whether that ex was a girl and close to me or like a guy. You know, I think like if you do my friend dirty, like you have kind of done me dirty as well, and I don't really care at that point to maintain a relationship.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah, I agree heavy on that. And I think, like, kind of to your point, like, I think it also matters, like, the nature of the relationship that those two people have. I think if you, like, try to escalate things afterwards, like, even in a friendly manner, it's, like, it's a little sus to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's, like, if y'all weren't that close when y'all were dating, and then they break up, and, like, all of a sudden, like, y'all best friends. Like,
Oh, yeah. For sure.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's,
okay.
like, yeah. But I think it's just respect, you know what I mean? It's how those two people feel about it is what matters at the end of the day.
Hoy, you got anything?
No.
All right. All right, cool. So now with that, we can go to the CQ segment, the Christian question segment.
I don't like this segment. Like,
Why not?
You're the most involved in church out of all of
the
us
question
right
that you
now.
asked, that's what I don't like.
But they always lead to some
weird.
random
Weird
stuff.
out-of-pocket thing. All right, again, disclaimer before we start. This Christian question segment is just going to be a story about the Bible, or story from the Bible, because we're all Christians, or us four Christians, and we grew up in that religion, and we've gone to church a lot, and it's very important to us. But yeah, I don't want Matt to feel left out, so the questions are not going to be like Christian questions. It's not like a trivia night, you know? It's not like Christianity trivia or something
If
like
you
that.
cannot answer
I'm a
this
loser.
Bible question, get out.
Yeah, like it's not like that. Yeah, sure.
I was raised Catholic anyway, bro, so I'm on the same
Appreciate
page, you know what I mean?
Okay.
He
so
has
yeah,
Bible knowledge.
and also, we're not theologians. We didn't research the Bible, so we don't like. Think
Matt
our
has
answers-
Matt likely knows more about the Bible than we
That is
do.
bullshit, bro.
That's fair.
That's
That's fair.
She's hyping.
And so yeah, we don't claim to know everything about the Bible, and our opinions are just our opinions. They can be different from each other. They can be different from yours. Please just don't argue or comment about this and things like that. Okay, sweet. Just enjoy, you know. And then you can always skip it in the timestamps below. It will have all the timestamps of when this ends, when this starts, stuff like that. So you can just go to the next question if you don't like it. All right, today's CQ segment is going to be about Jesus feeding the 5,000. A quick story. Very common. So the background about it is there was a crowd that formed to follow Jesus because they heard of his many miracles that he performed. And so they followed him around hoping to get like healed and things like that. And so that's what he was doing. He was healing the sick, preaching to the people, telling them about God. And a huge crowd started forming. It said in the Bible that it was 5,000 men. There was more people, obviously, including women and children. And it was getting late, and the disciples are people who follow Jesus. They were like his pack, his crew. They were like his day ones. They listened to everything
Minions.
he said. Yeah, basically minions.
Jesus was Gru,
But he also
but good.
Yeah, and he also respected them, and he like washed their feet and was very humble, things like that. But yeah, and so the disciples said, let's just send everyone home because it's getting late. We can't feed them all. Jesus said, why can't we feed them? What do we have? And so this leads to the first question. The first question of the CQ segment is,
Get ready, Hoy.
who should pay on the first date? Look, Jesus.
That's a good question.
Look,
I have
look.
a great answer to it.
Honestly,
Jesus provides, right? He provided for his people. Okay, so who should provide on the first date?
You know, honestly, I think whoever initiates the conversation,
Yes.
like, does it. So if the girl says, "Hey, you want to eat?" You better pay for me. You know what I'm saying?
basically, whoever the idea of wants to have a date, you know, let's do this, and we're ready to have a first date, then you should pay.
Do you guys have any different answers, or do y'all think the same?
I always pay, bro. Like I think it's a respect thing in my mind. I respect everyone else who thinks differently, but like I grew up in a pretty traditional household, and I learned that the man pays. You know what I mean?
What about you, Alyson?
Before we started dating, I like would split everything.
Really?
So it didn't really matter to me, but like it's great.
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
All right. So I also think the same as Jason and Hoy, because that's what 50 Cent said, and that's what made it popular.
That's right.
He said the person who invites the person to the date, the person who makes the plans for the date is the person who should pay. But I also think, like Matt, I've never let the girl pay first on a first date, just because, like, I guess usually because I'm the one asking, but also it's just like I feel like it's courtesy just to pay. And there's a follow-up question to this. What about the other dates? So I'm big personally on not splitting ever. I hate splitting. If she wants to grab the meal, I'll totally let her if we've been on lots of dates, if we've been on relationship, or if we've been in a relationship, whatever. Usually what I'll do, the most I'll split is like I'll pay for the dinner, you pay for the dessert, like that kind of thing. But I don't believe in splitting. But I also do believe in the woman paying sometimes, and that's completely fine if she wants to. She doesn't have to. I'm not saying she's obligated to, but I think in a relationship it's nice because the relationship should be like 100, you know? It's not like just one person giving their all. What do y'all think?
I think you start splitting like when you move together, when you live together, like groceries, rent, like that kind of thing makes sense to me. At that point, I feel like it's a combined income. You know what I mean? Like you see yourselves as a unit type shit. I think before that, like I'm always gonna pay, man. Like that's I think
Really?
yeah. I think
Every time,
bro.
Damn.
Because I think like this is crazy sounding, bro. But like there's an inherent cause that women pay in showing up in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like they're taking a risk to be there. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I feel like on some level you deserve to compensate them for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me be in that spot.
Let's go, baby.
Well, I have a question for Matt.
What up?
Just
What
kidding.
up?
What's up?
It's just like a curiosity.
Yeah.
Just say it was like a girl idea to be like, oh, let's go to like Fogo and let's
okay.
get some filet mignon, and then after that let's ride a limousine,
Yeah.
and then let's go to somewhere. Hypothetically, and then the girl like, oh, let's do that, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I guess sure. Are you gonna still pay for all that?
Dude, so I'll pay for it, but then I break it off right after. You know what I'm saying? like if they trying to take advantage, then that's not something you're trying to be in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, don't ruin the night. You know
What if they really want to pay? Will you let them?
Nope.
I don't think I would. Yeah. But
What was the original question? I got distracted by your fantastic answer.
What about the other dates, like paying?
Yeah, I like have no choice. Like Matt literally doesn't allow me to pay, so and I know that showing someone you care about them doesn't only involve money, but the way that I try to meet you halfway is like gifts, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I don't know any other way to like
these shoes, bro.
like monetarily show you that I care other than like that, because he just doesn't allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll fight you. You know what I'm saying?
What about you, Jason? Any thoughts?
I feel like in a dating sense, it just comes down to communication, like whether or not he wants to pay your stuff. But usually, like, I don't know. I mean, I've never like dated, but from what I heard,
Just like Hoyoung?
yeah, from what I
So
heard,
There's
think-
such like great single guys. If anyone's looking, like
Alright.
the greatest.
All right.
One has tattoos, one doesn't. One goes to church
Take
a
your
lot
pick.
more than the
Hit
other.
them up, bro. Instagram's in the description.
Yep. Go check them out. Their socials will be in the description.
just ignore what Frank said. But yeah, I mean, I think it's okay for like to split or whatever decision comes at the end with the couple. So that's all I can say, honestly.
For me, I feel like I'm usually gonna like pay whatever, like let's do something, I'm gonna kind of pay. But if the relationship is 100, like at some point I think the girl will like, oh, let me pay this time, like, you know, and that I'll be like, oh yeah, sure, like why not?
Yeah.
But then if like for like months and months it's just been you and she hasn't really been like like telling you, oh, I'll pay, or let's go get this one, and this time I'll get you. Like if she doesn't do that, I think she's just trying to like take advantage of you.
Then it starts becoming like a red flag almost. Even though like you didn't mean it to be, like you're okay with paying, but it's like if she doesn't offer ever, then it is. It's kind of like
like both has to be 100 in some way or form. Yeah.
Like feeling entitled to have someone else pay for you, that's an issue. Because I know every time you pay, like that's a gift, like that's a privilege, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I think showing appreciation is really important. You know what I mean? Like I said, like if you pay and you don't feel that bag, like that's you end it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a respect thing. You know what I mean?
For sure. Agreed. Yeah. All right, so we have we had a kind of wide variety of answers. And you wouldn't change your answer though if the girl asks, you still gonna pay?
I'm still gonna pay, bro. Okay. I'm still gonna pay.
That's
respect,
fair.
actually
That's
respect.
Fair,
Yeah.
All right, and so moving on, all Jesus had with them for food was 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And so Jesus said, "That's okay." Prayed over the food, and then the disciples started distributing the food, and of all the people, 5,000 plus people, they had enough food miraculously. And then afterward, they had 12 baskets left over, and everyone was full. And so the last question with the CQ segment has to do with food. Why do girls say they're hungry and then eat all your food? Why is this a thing?
Because other people's fries just taste so good.
Y'all should know Alyson does this all the time. It does not matter. Like
Every time.
Always say, I'm not that hungry, and then she'll look at your food when you get it. And then you're obviously out of courtesy like,
just take the
you
food.
want some? Yeah, you want some?
It's not just
And
one
she's
of
like,
us.
yes, and then she'll eat it all.
It's all of us.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta get ahead of the game, bro. You gotta order that extra thing.
I do.
Yeah,
I did when I was dating.
Yeah, that's the move, bro.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Why do girls do that?
Because you're not hungry when you don't see the food in front of you. And that, yeah, I don't know.
That's
Is it
horrible
like-
planning
No.
skills. Horrible planning
Is
skills.
it just because like when the guy's eating the food, I'm like, oh, it looks so good when he eats the food. So like
He's
I'm
a
gonna start
commercial?
eating.
He's a commercial?
Allison's just like, damn, you look good eating that food.
Shit, that food look good in your mouth too.
Let me get a piece.
All right.
I think I'm guessing, like from my perspective, I think I'm guessing is like they don't want the food, right? They actually don't want it, and they don't want to like go all the way to the effort of getting food. They're not really that hungry. But then if someone else just have the food like in front of them, and then it's like you just want like a bite. It's like. It's like,
and then you eat a
and
bite,
then you just
and
eat
you're
a bite.
like, "Damn,
You
that's
just eat a
good."
bite. You just can't stop. So I
Yeah.
think it's just.
I can agree with that. I see that.
Yeah. I actually have no explanation for that. I don't even know if all girls do that.
Most girls that I've met have done that.
A good amount. Yeah.
A lot of the girls that I dated were like, or most of the girls that I dated were just like, we would get like, if we went to like fast food drive-thru or something like that, by the time we get home, my fries are gone. She has her fries still, and then she gives me the fries she ate from, and I'm like, that's not mine. That one's mine. But it's cool, you know. It's all good. It's all good. Cool. I think it's like one of those things from last week we talked about, where it's like weird things that I think it's kind of cute. It's kind of cute when a girl does that. It's like because you know they can eat. So the next question, the CQ segment was done. Is
Good segment.
I think. Matt, have you ever been in love?
Shit, man, yeah.
Okay, so I think me, Alyson, and Matt have all been in love. And Hoy and Jason, like they said, they haven't dated, so they don't know the experience. But the question is, how would you define love personally? It could be different even between the people who have been and the people who haven't been. But I'm just curious what y'all have thoughts on that.
Should we go first?
Yeah, you can. You can go ahead. Yeah.
Um,
Speaking to the mic, please.
I think for me, I've never been in a relationship, so I don't have like a full experience of what it means to like truly love somebody. But I think being able to sacrifice your time and doing what she enjoys to do and like being there for her is like a firm foundation of what my kind of love is. It's pretty subjective for everyone, but that's just kind of what I think.
So sacrifice? You would say sacrifice?
A lot of sacrifice. A lot of simping. Yeah.
What's simping? Explain it.
Simping? That's a good question.
It's Jason. Jason Kwon. That's what simping is.
Definition of simping.
The thing about simping is that's just baseline of how you should treat a girl. And I mean, that's what I think. And I think a lot of society or dudes who are afraid to show emotion are going to criticize other guys for doing what they can't.
I agree. I would say, girls, that should be y'all's baseline, y'all's bare minimum. Like, simping is normal, and it should be a thing that you just expect. So don't get all butterflies because you got a guy simping for you. Like, it should be normal, you know? Same for girls to guys, though, too. The girl should be simping over the guy as well. And that's just a good relationship, you know?
Once the guy has proven that they deserve trust.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I have nothing much to say. I'm just been like what Jason said, basically, sacrifice. I think that's pretty much what love is, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's a lot of different forms of love, and being in love and feeling like that initial feeling, it's amazing and it's easy and it's natural. But I think once you get past that, that's when that's the real definition of love, is like when it's hard, you have to make a choice. It's like a lot of people say love is a choice that you make every day. And I feel like that is almost like it's platonic love to an extent, because it's like, I think the most powerful form of love is platonic love. And I feel like your partner should be your friend, if not your best friend. And that's a really important foundation, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. That's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. I think there's a really important distinction between love the feeling and love the action. I think when things start out, like it's a chemical reaction, it's in your brain. It's not something that you can control. It's intrinsic to who you are and how you were raised and your biology, right? And it's easy, like you said, it's easy. Those first 3 months, like everything comes natural, everything is good, and you don't really have to practice love. You know what I mean? But I think, when things start to transition, like you've been together a long time, like it becomes an action. It becomes about the work that you put in. It becomes about respecting them, understanding where they're coming from, meeting them halfway, making that compromise and putting in that work every single day. Because that's what matters, and that's what shows someone that you care about them. You know what I mean? So I think that for me defines it, like just that daily work, bro. Like that's that day to day, bro. You know what I mean?
I agree. I would say for me, love started very much so as an emotion, just like you guys said, just like everyone said, pretty much. It's like something you feel at first, and it's just like you can't explain it. It just kind of happens naturally. But over time, it becomes like a love where it's a choice, where it becomes about sacrifice, but also, in my opinion, the biggest thing for me, love is comfort. Just being able to be comfortable with the person, being yourself, and just being able to be yourselves together, and just even like sit in a room together, not talk about anything, but still feel the love, like, I don't know, 10 years into your relationship or whatever. And I saw this quote, I forgot where it was from, but some like famous actor or someone said it in like an interview, and they said like love is, you love someone when they start to make you feel human again. And I thought about that, and I was like, whoa, that's actually kind of sick, because like I feel like everyone feels like they're themselves. Like you feel like you're acting like Matt, you're acting like Alyson, I'm acting like Frank all the time, whatever. And we just go to our day-to-day living life and just doing it as we would live it. But when you find that person you love, you start being yourself. You start being weird. You start being like, everything comes out. You become that child again. You're like you're what you used to be, and then that it just starts making you feel human again, and you're comfortable with that, and the other person's comfortable with that and loves you the same for that. I think that's what love is. So yeah, pretty similar views, even with the people, y'all too.
I was gonna say, like, I think it's interesting that you guys went straight into the action part of it without maybe experiencing the feeling.
The emotion, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. If anything, I thought they were only going to talk about the emotion, and then we were just going to talk about the action, but it was kind of flipped. Like, we talked about the emotion and the action, and they talked about just the action.
But I mean, you guys are great guys, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
They ready, bro.
They're ready to love. If anyone's out there, please. Jason Kwon, Hoyoung Kim on Instagram.
It's pissing me off.
All right, so now we are down to the LQ, the last question. And the last question is, when you first meet someone, do you put them into buckets? And I think I'll give it to Matt to explain this one, if you can just get closer to your mic.
Yeah, this one's box theory. It's something that I was introduced to by a friend, and it always stuck with me. It's something that I found interesting because I never really thought about it, but in practice, I think it is something that like we do naturally. And I think when you first meet somebody, subconsciously you're evaluating them as a partner, you're evaluating them as a mate, right? Like you put them in a box, and I think the theory dictates that once they're in that box, that it's impossible to migrate them out. That those first impressions really define how you feel about that person and what you want out of that relationship. So whether you want to be a friend, you're trying to hook up, like you're trying to date, trying to get married, like I think you kind of know that from the minute that you meet them when you're a guy, right? I think it's different. I've heard it's different for girls, right? But it's interesting. I want to hear what y'all's thoughts about that is. What I mean?
So what are the buckets that you guys make in y'all's head, if y'all do? 'Cause I think we all do a little bit. And you can like have like buckets in between, like boxes in between boxes. But like, what are those boxes that you guys make? And then like, just like when you first meet somebody, do you put them in those boxes? Okay, I can start then. So the boxes I make in my head.
Cut that.
Yeah. Cut that part. We'll start off with Frank. All right. It's like force leak.
All right. So yeah, the boxes that I think about in my head when I first meet a girl are probably just friends. That's obviously one of them, friend zone. One will be like not even friends, because like if I just don't vibe with them, like, and there's just something off with them, I cannot be friends with them.
That's a good call out, bro.
And then probably potential interest. So it's like I think they're cute or whatever. Or I think they have a good personality. I'm not gonna try anything more, but if something more happens, like I'll see where it goes. And then there's like a box in between that and friends. So it's like they can get out of the friend zone, but it's like probably not likely. And then another box that's like just for like, oh wow, like this person is crazy. Like I definitely want to try and date them. Like I'm gonna try and pursue them, that kind of thing. And then I guess there's that rare box where it's like there's a girl I want to marry kind of thing, but it doesn't really happen often. Maybe like once, twice or something. I don't know. Yeah. And I do put girls in boxes like that. Not like consciously. It's definitely subconscious. But it's just like a first reaction thing, first impression kind of thing.
No, that's for sure, bro. When I heard this for the first time, I was a little offended. I was like, nah, like we're not that simple, bro.
Exactly,
like men are humans, you know what I mean? And then I thought about it more. I was like, honestly, like it's true. You know what I mean? I think the same thing for me, bro. Like I think it's not friends, right? I think the path I'm gonna differ on is like I think there's a box in between dating and friendship where it's like, hey, like this person is good for like a period of my life. Like we don't have the same core values, or we don't necessarily align for like a long-term relationship. But there's still something that we can get out of this. You know what I mean?
You can like smoke together, or you can go out to Six together, things like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I get some coffee or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, but I think that that there really is a separate box for dating to marriage. You know what I mean? I think you know when you meet them that that's something that you want. You know what I mean? And I don't think that I've never had that experience where it was someone who I didn't know from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Girl's perspective.
I don't think I approach meeting guys in that way. I don't know if a lot of girls do, to be honest.
Even subconsciously?
I'm really trying to figure it out. I'm trying to pick my own brain, and like I think the furthest it really gets is like he's attractive. So like I'd be like I'm attracted to him. That like kind of automatically opens the door to maybe I would date them, but like it's kind of like, okay, I'm not attracted to them, so no, like not at all. And then I am attracted to them, I learn more about them. No, I don't. I would never date this person. And yeah, they have good qualities, but our values don't align. And then I'm attracted to them. They're good people.
Yeah.
And our values align. That's the relationship.
The one, okay. Yeah.
But I don't think a first impression can really decipher all of that.
And when you say attraction, just to make sure, it's not just looks.
No.
Yeah. You can have like
The vibe.
good vibe. Yeah.
I think I'm pretty similar with Alyson, actually. It's like the first thing I see is like, oh, looks, like if this person is like my ideal type kind of thing. It's just like, oh, like potentially like I can date this person. And then once we start talking, if it's like I don't think we like kind of vibe really well, then like the direction we'll go to the left is just like we can be friends, like good friends.
That's like 99.999% of the population, by the way. Good luck.
Yeah, for real. Oh my gosh.
That is true.
This man's Hinge settings are very narrow.
You got like 5 people.
I do, yeah. I'm very picky, but sorry, it's just off topic.
No,
That's a good trait, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
But yeah, I mean,
what do you mean by picky? Let's talk about it, you know?
picky?
Yeah.
It sounds like, I feel like it sounds kind of rude to just be like, oh, the first thing I see is looks, like that's what matters to me the most. But I talked about this with Frank. It's kind of just like, I want to be able to like, you know, look at my wife for a very long time and just feel like, oh, like she's gorgeous, like she's super pretty, and like I adore her face a lot, like I think she's beautiful, and I think that's like the first thing that comes to my mind. Well, obviously like personality is something really big.
Huge.
But if I had to put in order, I'd say like looks, because that's like the first impression, like that's the first thing you see, like looks, personality, and then just goes down from there. But I think being picky is good, but I also think you should have realistic standards, because if it's very unrealistic, then good luck dating.
Yeah. Only 5
You'll
people in
become
this
like
world
Jason.
would be
Yeah.
dating.
It's tough.
The top 1%.
Right, but hey, I mean, I think it's doable.
Jay-Z still cheated on Beyonce. Adam Levine still cheated on a Victoria's Secret model. You know what I mean?
And a lot of girls have cheated on men just because I can't think
So
of one
true.
specific- Yeah, Hoy, so what would you think?
The question?
Yeah.
All right. For me, I guess like I'm usually like just open to be friends with like everyone, right? No matter what. But then it started to kind of, there's like a little split from there. It's like friends that they could be like a potential, like because of the vibe, and you hang out, it's like, oh, this might be like a person that I could like hang out with and I will have fun with, whatever. And then there's other like, oh, there's like no way, like just friends, just straight friends, just like a two-way there. And then for me, like, and then there's gonna be like your other box of like dating, right? But
Who's in that dating box?
no one.
Yeah, that's what
Literally
I'm saying,
nobody.
bro. Like, you
I
ain't
mean,
never
yeah,
told me this.
that's part of rarity right there.
Hey.
So, but let's say like there's like a dating box, right? And then I think like the marriage wise, I think like it pops out like during the dating.
Yeah.
Like there might be like it's like, oh, like just after I date and then I kind of figure out the more about that person and things like that. And it's like now there's like a box that pops out like a marriage. Oh, is this like marriage potential or not? So
Yeah.
I think it's just pretty simple like that for me. But yeah, but unconsciously I have high standards. So
I like that. I actually, your answer is making me modify mine. I think initially I may not have an opinion on somebody's attractiveness. But if you get to know them more and you're attracted to their personality, then they can turn into like somebody that you're open to dating.
Agreed. All right, follow-up question to the last question, which is the really last question. But is it possible, because Matt touched on this, but is it actually possible to get out of a bucket once you're stuck in one, or out of a box once you're stuck in one?
Dude, I personally don't think so. I think it's one of those things where it's like you go into it setting the expectations that you have for how the relationship's gonna play out. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say it's impossible, but I don't think I've ever experienced it. I think that might be something that's unique to male psychology, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Maybe we just think friend zone is it's over.
Nah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, nah, I think it's hard to move out of the box. I've never experienced it, so I can't speak to that. But I think once you're in a box, you're in it. You know what I mean?
Matt's been in the dating box for every single girl.
Yeah. Straight to dating box.
Get out of here.
So he never experienced getting
No
out
friends.
of a box.
That's a hell.
There's only straight to dating
You
box.
have no friends.
There's only
They're
two
all
box, dating and
prospects.
then-
They're all
All
prospects.
That's what.
He like the NBA draft.
It ain't like that, man. It ain't like
Go
that.
to that.
He's hyping himself, man. Number one.
Anybody else? Is it possible? Get out of a bucket or a box? This is what I think. I think it's really hard to get out of a box from a first impression. But I think there's like somebody who the first time you meet could be like, oh yeah, this person's just a friend. They're just friendly. They're just nice. But then over time, I think as you like mature and grow, maybe that like you need somebody who's just nice, you know, and you like their personality because they're just nice, and like so they can move to a box because your preferences change. I think that's a possibility. But yeah, I'd say don't give up hope, but at the same time be respectful about it. Like don't like force try to get out of the box. There will always be somebody out there for you. All right, if you're watching this, there'll always be somebody out there for you.
Amen.
Don't stress.
Quality is a number game too. You know what I mean?
Say that again.
Quality is a numbers game too.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like finding that right person. You know what I mean?
So you guys over there at the end of the table are screwed. You got no numbers. All right. Quality is a numbers game. Listen to this man. All right, he's him.
My fault. Maybe I need to have like one box of just.
Man, I
Recycling
like
bin.
that question has me thinking because I don't know that I put into boxes anymore based on that question, because the people that I've talked to, I never initially
Put in a dating box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be honest. In fact, I've had bad first impressions of a few of them, and I think maybe I just don't bank on my first impression that hard. But that's not everybody. I don't know. Do guys like think the first impression is really important? Like, does that set the tone of the way you view somebody, no matter how they act, for the rest of y'all's interaction?
For sure.
Really?
For sure.
Wow.
I don't understand the psychological mechanism, but the box theory is like specifically ascribed to men. Like it's for men. I think there is something, like I've always heard that statistic where it's like it takes a woman 7 dates to know that she's in love, but a guy knows like within the first 2. You know what I mean?
That's wow.
I just think it's the way our brain is structured, and I don't think I understand why that is, but
I can definitely see that too. I don't think necessarily they're stuck in a box like you were asking, but that's because I have like vague boxes as well. Like I have the in-between boxes, and so that's just personally, but they definitely do fit into one of those boxes. So yeah, I would say agree, but also disagree a little at the same time.
I think when I was single or potentially going on dates, I gave myself the 3-date rule. So it's like if the first date is like, all right, I'm not gonna count it off. And that's not something that I have done my entire life, or my entire like. Delete that. Fuck it.
No, I like that. I was gonna say also,
expand, yeah.
I think that's a really good idea, especially for girls, because I feel like guys have a lot of pressure on them to make this date good. And so if it's their first date, especially for like if it's y'all's first date ever, then hell yeah, you're gonna be nervous, and like you can't be you can be yourself. Some people are really good at being naturally themselves, but like you're also trying. There's like you're going out of your way to try and impress the girl. And so it's like you might do something that's super unimpressive, but you think is impressive, that kind of thing. And like you just can't show your full personality on one date. Like I would not know any of y'all just from meeting y'all one time. You know, it's just not possible. And so I think the 3-date rule is really good because you get a more holistic view of their personality, of who they are, their vibe with you. And maybe they were just nervous. And I think girls have the expectation to also make sure the guy is not nervous. Like, help them become less nervous, because guys have so much pressure on them. I feel like so much expectation on them.
Yeah.
Is that it? Y'all good? All right. Well, that was our last question. I hope you guys all had as much fun as I did, and I just want to thank our guests again for taking the time to be in today's episode. Would you guys like to say anything before we end?
Subscribe to FYI Talks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you made it through, please like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and check out all the other socials for myself and these guys, which will be linked in the description. Check out the Spotify, TikTok, everything. This has been your third episode of FYI Talks. I'm your host, Frankie, and I hope to see you guys soon.
See ya.
See ya.